Hi, this is Caroline, and today I'll be sewing in my signatures into the spine and the cover of Snow White. So I'm making sure all the papers are going to stay put while I sew. You don't want them to move around. So the big clips are pulled out and both signatures are clipped for the papers lined up and nice and tight. Now there's no papers like blank papers in between the pages of the story. Instead, I use papers from other books that will be the pages. So with no papers, writing space, I decided to put in the middle just some plain paper that you can or anybody can work on and write stories on and do your own thing. I will decorate a little bit. So this is not the last of it. I'm just putting in the signatures right now. So I already have measured out this paper, of course, and it's all cut to what I want it to be. And I'm going to clip it, and then it will be sewn into the signature. And there they are, 3 signatures. That will get a little bit more puffy as you put stuff in there. And I will be decorating the pages more so. So you're seeing a sneak peek as I sew them in, but I will be going back and decorating them a little bit. Now I'm making a template. So to sew in the signatures, just measuring out the size of the spine, and you cut it, and you write top on the top of your paper, because that way you'll know when you go to sew in your signatures that which way this paper, because even just the least little off hole, you want to line up everything. So the way I do, I fold the paper in the middle and then fold the sides into the middle, and that will give me the 3 lines for the 3 signatures. So I know that the 3 signatures will be spaced that way. If you fold it again the other way, that will give you the middle of that paper, and that's where you first start. That will be the first hole, and then your holes will be lined up with that. Now usually I can just fold this paper and put it here, but the space from the top of the book is too much, and the sewing thread will be too close to each other. So I decided to measure 2.5 from the center. Now from here I can just eyeball it and say it's across from there. That will be where the thread will go to holes. So it'll be 3 holes for each signature. And when I put the holes in the spine, of course the hole and the marking will be for the signatures. So I do clip it in so it doesn't move, because it's like the slightest little change, it will throw off the line. And I use an old book, like just so when I punch the hole, it goes through the book and not through my desk or through anything that I appreciate. I have my awl. It's made from a screwdriver, and my husband, because I found the awls were thick too quickly, and I wanted to be able to push that awl through it and make a nice little hole. So I wanted the screwdriver to be the same width for a longer period of time than just the awl. It seemed like it was just a short on the top, and then it went thick. And I didn't want it to be thick. I want that hole to be just the right size. I don't want a thick hole, because in the signatures everything will move, even though how tight you'll put it, and Yeah, it's anyway, he made that for me. Now I'm marking 1, 2, 3. So when I put it in this, when I put the signatures in, I know which signature I'm working with. And number one, number one signature is on there, and that will be this place. And when you have to put that template in, you're um, using clips again to keep it in place so it doesn't move. And you're lining up that first set of lines for the first signature. So the folded piece of paper goes right into the fold of the signature, and then push her all through that one line. And then the second signature, it will be the second line, 1, 2, and 3. You're moving that paper along for each signature, making sure all the holes are in the right places for the right signatures. Now, if you're just doing one signature, you don't have to go through all this, right? And if you don't have, now my paper's got a lot of, what do you call, like a thick papers. So, it's hard to push that all in. Everything will move as I'm pushing and wiggling, trying to get it through everything. And even with the spine, it's like the spine is cardboard and two fabric, because the fabric is rolled over. So it's two fabrics and all that glue. Like you got to really push hard and stuff. So you want to, everything got to be um, clipped down, and everything has to be lined up perfectly. If you're just making one signature and you're not working with like a hard cardboard and fabric and all like that, you're not pushing through everything, you can just do this by hand. You don't have to make the template. You don't have to, like, you just have a little awl. Maybe even your needle and thread can just be your awl. You don't have to punch holes. But see, my paper it gets thick because of the size of the paper. And you see that the awl can go through. I can push it a good ways through. So make sure my hole is there. So it'll be easier when I go to sew. That's why I wanted it nice, the same length. That's what the awl is supposed to be. The awl is supposed to be, you push a hole in and, like, it's going to be all the same length, but same width. And now here's the last one. This is a real thick one. It's got a lot of papers that's doubled up. I just folded over some papers onto each other, and I used papers that joined the two pages together. There was a lot of pages that was, not doubled. I had to double them up, so I had to put cardboard, or not cardboard, but paper in between, and it's stock, good number stock, whatever. But anyway, it was thick, so it's real workout to push that all through all of that, keep everything all in place. And if you keep your signature nice and closed, I find it is easier. You want to make sure that all is going through the fold. It doesn't move over to the side. Sometimes it can move over to the side and it's not going right straight through that fold. You want to get through the fold and not anywhere else. It will matter when you're sewing it all in. So there I am working on that last line, getting that there, keeping that there. Get the awl nice and straight. Try to keep everything closed up and tight, and just get that hole in the right place. And just a little bit, if I can push it a little bit more, give me a good hole. So when I go to sew, it won't be too, because sewing is another big thing when you got a lot of signatures and a lot of holes. Now you keep everything on, keep all those clips on. You get your holes there. And now you're going to sew it in to the cover. And what you can do here too is to clip that signature onto the cover, especially that back one, so it doesn't move. Now I'm getting my thread. This is a wax thread. I bought it at the dollar store. You get 3 little rolls for $1.25. And yeah, it's a good buy. There's my needle. I'll need that. Nice yarn. And there's that craft string for $1.25. It's wax, so it's good to pull through holes and stuff. It's a good thread, especially when you're using like hard paper, like this journal, this is a good thread for it. So I measure out for 3 sizes, 3 times the size of the spine, because where I'm going in and out, you need at least 3 for each signature. So I have 3 threads cut, and now I am starting in the middle, and in the middle, see how nice my holes are? Not too big though, they're just the right size. Now I do keep the string inside, clipped it, give it a little, so I won't pull it through. You can get to pulling and you'll pull it right through. So I'm doing the last one first, like I say. Now I go to the top, and then I go in through the signature. Sometimes, if you don't have to work with cardboard and wiggle, 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 and you don't have to work with such many papers and thick papers, you can just put your needle right through your spine and right through the papers all at the same time. But when it's a big job like this, you have to wiggle through the cover and then through the signature. You want to keep a line, an eye on those threads. Try to keep it tight as you go, but yet loose enough that you're going to be able to work with it. Making sure I'm not losing that first bit on the inside. There it is. And now when you put it in for the middle again, you want to put on the bottom. So since you went to the top hole, when you go back in, you want to keep your thread to the bottom of it and not hook the thread. You don't want to hook the thread. And then through the signature, you don't want to hook the thread again. Make sure it is all tight, nothing is loose, all around on both sides and on the signature. Give yourself a nice little knot. You put it in a bow or a knot later, and a nice thread now for room for charms. And if you don't have charms later, you can just cut the thread, or sometimes just let the thread dangle. It looks nice. So again, start in the middle, hook it on so you don't pull it through, and then through the spine, and then to the bottom, up to the top. You take your clips off. 1, 2, 3, all that's all gone. And there you are, the signatures are in. Thanks so much for watching. Bye for now.